Good morning, back working in the shop. This is the start of video number 3. You impressed that I can count that high? And we are now working on the cabinets themselves, the upper cabinets. Here we've got the faces complete. Turned out really nice. Had to make a few adjustments this morning. And once we dealt with all that, everything's looking really good. So starting on the faces, got those built. Up next, we're going to start on the bottoms. You'll kind of see how we do those. As I said, we're going to expand this cabinet over. Got talking, and I said, well, there's no reason we couldn't run this all the way over the upper cabinet, all the way up here. And so here's kind of an example of what that's going to look like. It's not exact, and we'll put the seam in different places and the styles and all that, but it's approximately what it'll look like.
Go from there
all the way back down to there. 4 doors in it that'll open up, even size, equal sizes, lights in the bottom of it. Going to be a little bit different getting into the dinette, but it's going to provide a bunch more storage and kind of finish off the look of that wall.
That's an awful big assumption.
We are working on cabinetry right now. This is the bottoms of the overhead cabinets. Generally we make these out of pine, but local Amish mill was able to get us these aspen boards. And the bottoms will get covered with 1/4-inch birch anyway, but the uppers, as you already saw, will be the natural look of them. Not sure if I explained this in one of the other videos, so if I didn't, here's what we do. The way we build our cabinets is we face them, build our framework, and then we go around with this normal contact cement adhesive and slather it on and glue it all down. Just bought a pin nailer today. We used to use one, and then it's in with all the other shop stuff that's locked away. Not locked away, but it's in storage. So figured I'd show you guys this. We used to use the spray glue over there, that white can with the red bands, and unfortunately you cannot get that anymore. So this is the way to do it now. That stuff made a mess, but it would stick really good. But there was also not much workability to it. Once it was down, it was down. And so if you mess up, you'd be rebuilding an entire cabinet. So this works pretty good. And these things are turning out pretty nice this way. Getting ready to assemble the first of the cabinets. This is the upper cabinets. Face down right now, which just is the way they would actually be mounted. Okay.
Okay.
Now what? What's your thoughts? The way they do these are kind of weird. This is tucked up underneath. And makes it really difficult. So here we are. This side is all taken apart. This is something originally we were hoping to not do, but given the condition of everything, we decided it was necessary. This one here, same basic thing. And this one actually had a couple screws holding it in place. Got them all in pieces, working on cleaning up the edges. These things are really, really corroded. Not a whole lot we can do with them. A lot of damage here. And again, just not a whole lot we can do. They've been out several times, so they've been bent, and these were riveted closed. But we're going to do our best here. These are all bent. We're going to make a press, put them in a vise with a piece that goes in the middle and straighten those out as good as we can. That'll be good. Paint those silver. A lot of corrosion. But the problem here is, these things are not replaceable. So we got to work with what we got, basically. Well, unfortunately, the previous owner used caulk all the way around. And I'm guessing that's going to basically be like glue. So we're going to leave those, unfortunately. No good way to take them apart without risking damage to anything. So that's that. One of the windows has a crack in it, so we're going to have to try to take it apart. But otherwise, we're just going to clean these up and use them as best they can. This thing isn't going to be perfect by any means, and she knows that, and we know that. But we're going to do our best on it. Good evening, everyone. It's a warm morning. It's a warm evening here in Michigan. Seems to have gotten warmer throughout the day, actually. We're working on the Airstream, of course. We've got our trim pieces here, and I've been trying to find this same piece to recreate these, and no luck. So we're working on some angle iron and some stuff to trim it off real nice. Obviously, we've got our cabinets here. One thing I wanted to show you guys, and it's not going to matter, and I say that, but it really won't because of trim, but these edges here, they splintered. You look at this edge, and I can't even get it to zoom or to focus properly. There we go. The veneer, you can't even hardly see the layer of veneer. It's so thin. And so previously here in the Midwest, we have Menards, which is like a Lowe's or a Home Depot, and we've always bought our birch from there, or years ago we did. And then they had a Baltic birch. It was $10 or $12 more per sheet, but the veneer was much thicker, so they quit selling that. We went to Johnson's, LL Johnson's. There's a couple of those, but there's a big one in Michigan here. And we got down there, and the birch they had was basically the same. So I was not so thrilled there. And that's getting trimmed, not the end of the world. Some of the stuff is going to be seen more. So the import birch comes from Vietnam, and it was $20 or $21 a sheet, 22. I think it was 22 a sheet. The domestic, they called it, must be from Washington State, I believe they said. That was $41 a sheet, and both the veneers were about as thin. I said to the guy, well, I'm sure you hate to hear it, but we used to go to Menards for the Baltic birch, and I loved the veneer on it. And he said, well, we've actually got that. So we looked at it. It was also 41 a sheet or something. So check this out. Here it is. See if I can get it to actually focus properly. But each of these layers here, the top layer, that's all birch. Same with the bottom. So you're getting nearly a 1/16 of an inch of birch on both sides. And I believe the center layer is as well. Much, much better quality. If you've got to fill it, you'll be able to fill that, and it's still going to look good. Otherwise, you're just trying to get it to dry and dig into the plies on the other stuff, and it's just not a very good quality. A little bit more money, of course, but that's that. So up next, we're going to start working on this. This is the kitchen cabinet in all its glory. And we're able to extend it another 10 inches nearly. So tomorrow I'm going to start building this. We're going to start here. That's where it goes against the wheel well wall, work its way forward, sink, stove here, or oven. And then we're going to add another door next to it. That's going to give us a lot of room in here. So that's going to go from this line, before it stopped here, we're going to extend it all the way over to about here, give us just a couple inches next to the window. Going to be just a whole lot more storage in this thing. And of course, we're doing the overhead cabinet going up to that next seam. So that's that. Another thing we added up top was the solar prep. I think I mentioned that in a previous video, but now we have decided to go ahead and the customer sent us this. It was an Amazon Renogy kit, not supported by Renogy, not sponsored, but this is all solar. It's 4 100-watt panels, and it's a controller and all the wiring for that. And there may have been one other thing. I really don't remember what that was. So next, we're just going to add an Amazon lithium battery to that, as well as an inverter and converter. And then it's going to be kind of up to her to keep adding batteries to be able to support that as an inverted system as time goes on and whatnot. So at least she'll have be able to use some outlets, just probably not really run the air conditioner for very long on that. So that's that. And then finally, been debating on what to do here. And we came up with the best method. These are the interior window frames. Originally, they were painted. Not originally were they painted. They were painted when we got it, and I wasn't happy with that. So we're going to go ahead and do is sand them all to 320. This end did not get sanded. This here, sanded to 320, and then hit with our new Vite, also not sponsored, IIF7. This is for the heavy oxidation and scratch repair. This isn't going to get us perfect by any means. You know, if you've watched any of my Instagram stuff, you know we did a real high-end Aeroflight restoration a couple of years ago. That thing we've got probably 800 hours, probably close to 1,000 in just the polishing of everything. Probably 300 to 400 inside. So we're not going for that. We're going for the simple but effective. You know, it's not going to be perfect. Of course, none of this is going to be perfect. We build everything by hand around here. So, but going to have the boys start on that tomorrow. Same with these. This is the upper trim, and yeah, so we're rocking and rolling, making good progress, and got a bunch of the window frames cleaned up here, just sanded everything out, and got as much corrosion removed as we could. Up next, we're going to get the seals for that as we start replacing those as well. Working on sanding panels to install soon, hopefully in the next day. Kitchen cabinet is well on its way to being built. Working on interior as well. All the wiring is ran except for maybe one final wire, I believe. Started in the back getting panels up and continuing along today working on this one here. Exterior, we can't figure this out, but for some reason there's a line of rivets here. Those have caused us a little bit of grief because I don't believe they were factory. Have no idea why they were put in by the previous owner, but it is what it is. So, gonna make a new panel here. Going to go to my water jet guy and have him create patches that'll go over this, 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 and there's about 30 panels inside that have been just hacked to bits, bastardized over the years, that are going to need patches as well. Just going to have them all cut out of the water jet, as well as some outlet plate covers. So sitting here in the Airstream, when we got it, it had a 2 or 2.5 gallon Bosch point of use water heater in it. The previous owner did some strange things to this thing. And I decided I was going to test it in my outdoor shower just to see how well it worked. And it lasted literally 2 minutes. And so decided the customer, the current owner, convinced her to go ahead with a new on-demand gas water heater for an RV. And so that's what we're working on right this second. It has this dent. This is on the outside. And so we are kind of happy that we're able to put the water heater here. and it's going to be, the majority of that's going to get cut out. So what we're working on now is adding this piece here. That will give us something to attach our upright to over here to make our framework for the water heater. Just like that, we've got a framework built with the same materials used for the vertical here. Same on that side, riveted in place. Used our floor track to hold it all in, riveted on top. Same over there. Been a pretty productive day here so far. Picked up some metal that we had made into trim pieces. Check it out. This was the original, not sure if I showed anyone or on the videos, but the 1/4 inch slid into here and then this mounted to the wall. Great trim piece. The problem is this was in rough shape and no one could remake it, or I couldn't find anyone to make it. Well, we came up with the idea to do it with this. So found a place local. They were able to put the curvature in it and it matches almost perfect. And so that's what we'll be using. Pick that up. Screens. The younger guys today worked on making these screens. They'd never done them before. And look at how good and tight these are. You know it's good when they twist like that. So that's great news. Kind of finding their niche. Right, everyone, working in the shop. It's Friday, just about 5. We're going to keep going for a little while longer. I'm going to show you what we got going on. I don't love it, but in the name of quality, we're trying to make some improvements here. I think I told you guys about the wood we used before, this birch. Started a lacquer today. Check it out. So this has been sanded. It's got a couple coat, or no, sorry, this just has 1 coat on it. Problem is this birch we used was so thin that right here you can see we went through, as well as right down here, and then also a little bit right here, which is kind of hard to tell because there's a knot there. But in the name of quality, we're going to redo it. It's one of those things that at this point, another couple hours isn't going to make or break us. So all we got to do here, because the way these are built is, and I added all these braces today, hoping to make things stronger, which it did, and much more sturdy. But we're going to take these off and then undo all these Craig screws here, and then the whole thing will slide up when we put a new face on it. Just got this one refaced now. Check that edge out. It needs some cleanup. We're just a touch high, which is how I made it on purpose, but no splintered wood down that edge whatsoever. Whole lot nicer. It sucked to do. Nothing difficult, just sucks to take the time at this point of the game, but looking good. Here we go, last video before I released the part 3 of this. And so then after this, things are going to really start happening. It is July 28. She's coming to August 17 or 18 to pick this thing up. So we need to really start making some progress. We've been making some good progress. Check it out. I think you'll see this in the last clip as well. We've been working on some cardboard templates and then some birch templates as well here. These are our actual panels. Originally, and we've got the big man here today. My father convinced him to come in this sweltering heat. So here's what we got. Originally, we don't know what this thing had. I'm not an Airstream guy by any means. We got it. There was this pan here, and the fellow before us had some sort of this thing, cabinet, standing like so, kind of there. Problem is, it sucked. This is supposed to be an egress window, and he had this special cutout for it, and it just was not good. So he took you can kind of see the rounded corners. He took a compartment door to a modern RV and put it in there so it would seal, so stuff was waterproof. But this was just that shiny sheet metal that I'm sure you've seen me talk about. That stuff over there, and it sucked. So trying to figure that out, and that was one of the reasons my father was here today. We've decided to really change this thing up, hopefully provide her some more storage. So originally that was there, toilet was here, and of course the sink would have been here, toilet, and then a closet here. So now we're switching things up so that you're not spraying water out this way, trying to keep it in with just a curtain. We're adding a back wall. So it'll be a wall here, a wall here. Standard shower curtain will run across here. This will be open storage space. If she wants to put some wire racks or anything in there, we can have hangers on the back, hang a robe, hang laundry, that kind of thing. Room for clothes hamper, room for garbage can, whatever she wants. Toilet's still going to be here, and then lastly the sink will be in this corner and still have this as a closet. This may be just a little bit narrower. So that's that. Started working on that. Tomorrow you'll see me build it, but that'll be the 4th video. This is the end of the 3rd, so that's that. Thanks for watching. Again, kind of slow, still a lot of stuff just dangling around in here as we've been figuring stuff out. Got the young guys working, and but now we've kind of got the brains functioning for a little while. Supposed to cool down a little this week too, and hopefully we can make more progress. Not sure if I showed this. This is our paint booth, new paint booth, and stuff is turning out pretty good in it. So that's that. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you on the next one. Oh, I always forget this. If you could, like the videos, subscribe, comment, it really helps. Trying to get to 1,000 followers by the end of the year. That's the monetization level. And so that would basically be when I really started hitting it hard, was so full calendar year. So suggest it to your friends. We're looking for another couple projects to do over this winter. We had a couple people who were going to have us do a couple big projects and change their mind. One, they just didn't have a realistic deadline. The other decided it was just not the right time. So like, subscribe, follow for more. Thanks for watching.